What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Here we are with another reaction video, and this one we have how Australia ended the immigration crisis. Now, before we dive into this video, if you guys happen to enjoy it, please don't forget to smash that subscribe and get a video a thumbs up. Let's figure out what Australia did.
No more Muslim refugees in Australia. Take a strong stance. Protect our security, our safety on our streets, and our people.
At the end of the day, you can either be a Muslim or an Australian. It must be either or, because the two do not correlate and do not correspond.
In Brisbane,
Hey, you can't be what? That can't be mutually exclusive. I understand issues. Nah, you can be Muslim and Australian. But there's just a big immigration crisis, I feel like, going on around the world right now, where people are like ready to close their doors on immigration or limit it a lot more. Things are happening, crimes are happening a lot, and people are seeing a lot of crime coming from an influx of immigration. And so people are like, I think people just over time are starting to get fed up. Now, when it comes to immigration, I guess I don't have an opinion. I'd love for the world to be that people could travel wherever they wanted and live wherever they wanted. I understand that's not the case. I understand. I mean, a country can only have so many citizens that it's able to support before it kind of the system starts coming apart. I understand that some immigrants don't integrate well, and when there's no assimilation or integration with the immigrants coming in, that can cause issues. That can cause crime. But yeah, if everything was how I wanted it, people could go anywhere, live anywhere, but be able to assimilate to the places that they're going. So I guess let's continue the video.
Do not correlate and do not correspond.
in Brisbane, more flags and more rhetoric.
There are those lurking close at hand who wish to destroy all that is Australian and our freedom.
In each city where there was a protest, counter-demonstrations were almost as large. Australia is not having a crisis, but the protests are a sign of fear and growing discontent.
So when they're actually going to bring them out, nearly 3,000 people applied for visas to actually come out to Australia, we don't know what their background is. And it's only purely based on documentation that they've filled out, because investigations can't be done into their birth, deaths and marriages of who they are.
Pauline Hanson's concerns about taking in refugees from Gaza reflect the fears of many Australians who worry about safety and security. She points out that it's hard to check the background of people fleeing from war-torn areas like Gaza.
So we actually...
I'd love to hear what you guys have to say on it about the case of immigration, because they said there's protests because people are scared. But there's also counter protests that are just as ours that are, I guess, welcoming to immigration. And I'd love to hear what you guys' stance on it is. I understand. I would say I try to look at both sides. When it comes to most things, I just try to do my best to look at both sides and to understand where people are coming from. And I kind of gave you how I felt about it a minute ago. So I would love, but you guys that are actually in Australia, I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about it.
Bringing people over here, we have no understanding. That's another thing to consider too. Those people, once they land in Australia, will they claim refugee status? So then we're stuck with them and we don't know the backgrounds. I think we shouldn't be taking any of them. We have to take a strong stance against Muslims, strong stance against Islam and its teachings and its beliefs. They should be going to a safe haven, a country closest to them, but a lot of these Arab countries don't want them either.
Another point she makes is about nearby countries. Many nations close to Gaza with similar cultures and languages are not willing to take in these refugees.
Really?
If these countries are turning them away, Australians might wonder why we should take them in. Hansen suggests that refugees should find safety closer to home instead of coming to Australia.
We have to take a strong stance to ensure that people that come here are compatible with our culture, our way of life, our beliefs and our laws. So what I'm saying is, pressure the government to say no more Muslims in Australia.
This is incredible. Jordan, which is the traditional homeland.
I understand where she's coming from an immigration standpoint. I don't like that it's just singling out Muslims. Like, they're the only group of people that does any harm or does any crime. Now, again, I don't know the situation in Australia. I don't know what group brings the most crime in Australia. I don't know the information. But I'm sure there are a lot of good Australians out there that are Muslim. And so I don't. It's like only specifically Muslims can't come. And that's just singling out a group. And I don't know how. I don't really like the sound of that. Again, y'all talk to me in the comment section. Tell me how y'all feel. You guys that are actually in Australia, what's your stance on this?
Of Palestinians, Egypt, which used to hold the Gaza Strip. These are the countries that should be looking after Palestinians. They take no one. So it's fair to ask the question why Australia is the destination.
So we shouldn't be taking these people into Australia. I have fear for the nation and bring this unknown quantities into the country. We don't know who they are, who they support, terrorist organisations. I'm sorry, I don't want them here.
With little or unreliable paperwork, it's difficult to know who these people really are. This is an understandable worry, especially with the threat of terrorism around the world. Hansen also raises a fair question about whether some refugees might have ties to extremist groups like Hamas. While most people escaping war are innocent, it's true that some could have dangerous beliefs. We need to be careful about who we let into the country. Our safety should always come first.
Now, this is extraordinary. We should not be letting anyone into the country who supports Hamas in any way, shape or form. And I think the Liberals asked a very good question in Parliament today, saying, surely if you're offering rhetorical support to Hamas, aren't you failing the character test to get into this country?
It should be, and that's under the visa applications. They should have character tests. Have they been imprisoned? It's all, and signing an agreement to agree with Australia's laws and all the rest of it. But that cannot be done, Chris. Some of these people receive their visas within 24 hours or 48 hours. It cannot possibly be done.
That's very quick to receive your visa. Like, sheesh. Oh. Yeah, I guess I feel like I have seen stuff about Albanese and immigration and cutting down on it. So it sounds like he's already begun cutting down on immigration. We still got a little bit left. I don't know if they're going to mention it in this video. So I guess let's find out.
Done correctly to comply with the rules that it's needed. So this has been rushed through by the Albanese Labor government, and it's not in the best interest of the Australian people.
Rushing through the process, as Hansen suggests, could lead to mistakes and risks. The concern is that by pushing these applications through quickly, the Albanese Labor government may be prioritising speed over the security and safety of the Australian people. The character test is supposed to protect Australia from individuals who may pose a threat, but if it's not done properly, it loses its purpose.
And that is not a character test that can be passed in Australia. We have enough problems here. You know, they've gone from possible to probable in a terror threat in Australia. Why are we opening up this, you know, could actually end up down the path of more problems? Here we have, you know, protesters here in Australia for the Palestinians, for Hamas, supporting Hamas. We don't need more of these people in here. And I'm sorry, I'm telling Australians, I support Peter Dutton. We don't want them, we don't need them, and we shouldn't be allowing them in.
In the end, this is a tough issue. While we should care for people in need, we also need to be cautious. Hansen's argument is that we can't risk our own safety by bringing in people whose pasts we can't properly check. It's about finding a balance between helping others and keeping our country safe.
So So,
Well,
what
If she could word it like the person that's talking over the video was wording it, it'd just be a lot better. Because, and I know people are like, it doesn't make sense how she words it. Like, at the end of the day, what she's saying is not wrong. I just feel like the translator in this video is wording it a lot better. Yes, at the end of the day, I do believe helping people in need, but I also do understand wanting to be cautious about that, wanting to check on who you're letting come over to the country. It's understandable. That's the translator words it much better than she herself words it, because the way she words it, I don't know, it just don't sit right. I don't know what it is. It just don't sit right.
what is the deals that's been going on with the Labor Party and the Greens pushing this agenda, because they're not standing up for what is right for Australia. And his questions on the floor of Parliament are very valid and they should be asked. But you notice that Anthony Albanese couldn't answer the questions, and to say that it's the same laws that when the coalition were in, it's different circumstances, Chris. Of course, you've got war over there with Gaza and Israel. The fact is that 75% of the people in the Gaza supported Hamas, which is a recognised terrorist organisation.
This concern is reinforced by recent protests in Australia, where some groups have shown support for organisations like Hamas, which is designated as a terrorist group by many countries, including Australia. Her fear is that the government's current approach may open the door to even more problems, particularly in a country that is already dealing with rising tensions.
Yeah.
She argued,
I feel like with that situation, I would love for Israel and Palestine to be able to, I guess, come to the table and talk about, like, because there is issues on both sides. It's not just like one side is bad, one side is good. I think there are issues on both sides of the table. And so I think they both need to come to the table and figure out how exactly these issues between the two can be solved without shedding blood. Because at the end of the day, I feel like human life is valuable, and to lose so much human life is painful, and human life has been lost on both sides, and that's what truly sucks. Especially when it's people who have nothing to do with the war, who are just innocent lives being lost on both sides. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to hear that news. So if both of those sides could figure out some sort of agreement, I don't know what it would be. I don't know enough about the situation over there. I don't know enough about politics. I don't know enough. At the end of the day, I just hate seeing human life be lost.
argues that Australia does not need to add more individuals who might fuel these conflicts, stating that the priority should be on maintaining national security and ensuring that those who enter the country share Australia's values.
We have to take a strong stance against Muslims, strong stance against Islam and its teachings and its beliefs. We have laws here that we don't bring in pit bull terriers because they're a danger to our society. We don't bring in certain toys because they're a danger to our society and to our children. We have laws to protect Australians. So we know this is the case with these terrorists out there, radicalised by the belief of Islam and what it teaches. Then why does our government ignore that fact? No more Muslim refugees in Australia. Take a strong stance. Protect our security, our safety on our streets, and our people.
I don't know. Pauline rubs me the wrong way. I don't know if it's the way she talks, the wording of it, the tone, maybe a combination of all three, but she rubs me the wrong way. I think I completely understand when her words were translated in this video by whoever did the translation of it. They worded it a lot better. I guess with a lot more sympathy and a lot more understanding, it was worded. So Let me know what you guys think about this video. Let me know what you guys' stance is. I'd love to hear from you. That's all we have for this one. If you enjoyed, please don't forget to subscribe, get a video a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys on the next one.